Hey, what's up, guys? Petman here, Carolina Varsity, taking a detailed look at teams 22 through 12 in the best of last this week. In the interest of time, we kind of shortened the video. We only talked about the top 11 teams in the main one, but I did want to kind of explain why I have the rankings the way I have them this week. Starting with number 22 is Garinger. They lost 42 to 8 to West Meck. For Garinger, they got Ashbrook coming up this week. They got to cut down on turnovers. They had 4 fumbles in the first half, and West Meck's already a pretty good team, so you don't want to make it any easier for them by turning the football over, giving them short fields. They weren't able to get on the board. They've scored a couple times this year, so there's some progress on the offensive side of the ball. But I think for them to pull off a win, the defense is going to have to step up and give a really good effort to kind of hold some teams down a bit. For number 21 is Hopewell. They dropped 5 spots this week, 44-0 lost to Mooresville. I think this was kind of a defining game for Hopewell to kind of show us where they are or where they're going to be this year. And unfortunately, they're a young team working through some growing pains. They had trouble stopping the run against Mooresville and couldn't really get on the board offensively. They got Olympic this week. Olympic's not as strong as Mooresville, but they're playing a lot better. So Hopewell's going to have to find some offense in order to try and pull an upset in that game. Number 20 is Independence. They lost 14 to 12 to Olympic. They dropped 1 spot in the rankings. It's unfortunate with everything that's going on with Independence right now. I think the main thing for them is they've got to settle on who's playing where, and then they got to settle on their schemes, and then they got to build a consistency from that. When you're behind in scheme wise, position wise, and all that, the main thing you got to have is consistency to build that among all your players and your coaches for that matter. So, you can kind of start building expectations and, things of that nature. So, for them, the pre-conference is kind of like the preseason. Everything for them that's going to be key is going to be in the conference now. And they've got West Meck this week, which is a tough game, but the offense is really going to have to continue to build on what they did last week. They did score 12 points. The defense didn't play that badly, obviously, only gave up 14. So if the defense can keep up the effort and the offense comes around a little bit, hopefully they'll start to be consistently competitive in more of these football games. Number 19 is West Charlotte. They lost 26-0 to Harding. Um, for West Charlotte, they have a lot of offensive talent. And one of the things that I mentioned in the forums is some things that I would do if I was OC over there, and mainly it involves trying to get guys in space with the football, screens, jet sweeps, isolate by formation, and if a team tries to take advantage of covering a star player on one side of the formation, you have an advantage on the other side. I don't think their line is not huge, but they're a decent size. The quarterback looks like he's a younger kid, but you can give him some simple things to do. And you let your star players and Jacory Patton, Jacory Reeves, and Cam Lee kind of do the work with the football and offense. Defensively, I don't think they're that bad. Against Harding, they just kind of got worn down because they were on the field so much. But yeah, offensively, you kind of got to look at what you're doing and try to put your players in the best position to be successful. They've got Gaffney this week, which will not be an easy game, but it'll be a huge crowd down there in the reservation. We talked about that in the game video. But West Charlotte's got to get the offense going, and it's going to be tough here going forward, especially in that tough Mecca conference. Number 18 is Olympic. Olympic won 14-12 over Independence. That moved them up 3 spots in the ranking to number 18. Olympic has Hopewell this week, and they've got a shot of going above 500 at 2-1. They've already had a bye week, and obviously that bye week kind of helped them out, especially on the defensive side of football. They won a low-scoring game, and that's a good sign for them to bounce back after the tough opening loss to Butler. And if Olympic can kind of get some momentum going, they're on that cusp of possibly sneaking into playoffs once again this year once they get into conference play. Number 17 is Barry. They had a bye, but I moved them up 3 spots despite the bye, mainly because of some of the other performances below them. But Barry, unlike a couple of these other teams below them, Barry has shown an ability to score. And, they haven't stopped a lot of people, but if you can score, it gives you a chance. And Barry has a couple of athletes, and they have a good young quarterback in David Hernandez. He's only a sophomore, and he can, put the ball in some good places. And I think the future is bright for that offense with Coach Witherspoon there, who's a very bright offensive mind. And I've been impressed with what they've been able to do on that side of the ball. And just give them time with the defense. They lost a ton to different schools in the area here. And, those guys will be back strong, I believe. Number 16 is Providence. They lost 14-7 to Myers Park, but I did move them up a spot because this shows a lot of growth. We saw what Vance did to them. We saw what happened to them with Charlotte Latin. But for that defense to come back from those two tough football games and hold a good Myers Park team to 14 points and be in that game, it was 7-7 in the fourth quarter. And, nobody around Charlotte saw that coming. So, that's a kudos to Coach Bowles and his staff. And we talk all the time about recipes for upsets and how you win ball games. And defense is the key. Now, if their defense can continue to be consistent with that kind of effort, they're going to be in a lot of football games. And, hopefully for Providence fans, this is the start of where you see your program starting to, kind of come around and recover from some of the losses they had over the past couple of years with some talent that's gone on to the next level. Number 15 is Rocky River. Rocky River lost 41-24 to Sun Valley, dropped them 3 spots in the rankings, and it's nothing to really do with offense. I think offensively, Tyshawn Carter obviously is dynamic, and he's got a couple of receivers out there that are making plays. Namely, James May, number 12, has stepped up, and he's a younger kid, but he's making big plays, and they still have Elijah Henry in the backfield. So offensively, Rocky River is a dangerous team, but defensively, they have got to get some help. And, they've played tough teams. Now, Richmond is a top 10 team in the state. Sun Valley is a very good offense. And Berry, in their own right, like I said, is a good offense. And, they got another tough offense this week in Catholic. So, the challenges don't stop for the Rocky River defense. But at some point, if they're going to push into that upper echelon of the Southwest, and their defense is going to have to match the offensive explosiveness and potential that they have on that side of the football. Number 14, no change in the ranking, is Porter Ridge. They won 17-14 over Hunter Huss out of Gastonia. In that game, running back Mason Mills, number 5, is a very good player. But they also have a defensive back. His name slips my mind now, but I talked to Tim Winters out of Union County. He told me this kid had 3 interceptions in that game. That's very impressive. And, they got the big Battle of the Cookout this week with Sun Valley. So, Coach Mike Hurts is really doing a good job. Got that program going in the right direction a lot sooner than a lot of us expected. And, they're going to be in 4A still, but if they can build that thing back up and where they can get into the playoffs on the small 4A level, they can be, a tough out here in the, maybe not this year, but in the coming seasons, and get that thing back to where Porter Ridge had it when they were rolling under Hardin a few years ago. Number 13, moving up 2 spots in the ranking, is Harding, and Harding won 26-0 over West Charlotte. It was the biggest win over West Charlotte since 1987. And, it was funny at the game. Harding was doing really well. I mean, it really wasn't close. I mean, it was a dominating performance. And, there was one point the crowd was just kind of sitting there enjoying it. And I heard one of the coaches say, "Hey, y'all need to get up and start cheering." So, I hope the Harding fans will get behind, these guys, because they've worked hard. And it's been a long time since they've been 2-1. And they've got a big game tomorrow night against East Meck, who's also 2-1. And how Harding plays in that game will tell us where they can be um, going into conference play. And I think they have an outside shot at a playoff berth. And we all know Coach Sam Griner's goal is playoffs. And I know those guys want to cut his hair. So Harding is playing well, especially behind that defense who pitched a shutout. It's a very impressive job. Number 12 is North Mac. North Mac lost 28 to 18 to East Mac. They did move up one spot in the rankings. Um, North Mac's Emmanuel Wilson had a big game on the ground, over 150 yards rush. I believe it was 175. Had a very impressive touchdown run. Dale Ross was there. Now for North Mac, they're gonna get Calvin McCollum back very soon, maybe tomorrow night. I'm not totally sure, but that will be a big boost for their defense. And offensively, they've got to do better up front on the offensive line. Coach Baker is an offensive line guy. That's where he came from. He was offensive line coach at Mooresville. And I know he takes a lot of pride in that, and they're going to continue to work at it. They got a game with Community School of Davidson where I think they can work on some things they want to feature before they get into conference play here in a couple weeks. And it's the fourth home game in a row for North Mac, so I can get a 2-2 split on that, which is not bad, and kind of build on things from there. But that's the rankings from 22 to 12. So my explanations of why I ranked them where they were. Agree, disagree, let me know. I appreciate the time. Thanks for watching, and good luck to everybody playing on Friday night. Thanks.